Hey, what's up, y'all? This is an F150. Same procedure applies to an Expedition, anything with the 6R80 transmission. Here is how to replace the molded lead frame and pull the valve body out. 2011 through 2018 models, I believe, have the 6-speed. Once you get past 2017 or so, it may be the 10-speed, so just keep an eye out for that. Coming underneath here, first thing I like to do is take the fill plug out of the side here. It's a 3/4 or 19 millimeter. There's the socket I'm using. Here's the ratchet I'm using. Flex head, long reach, 3/8 drive ratchet. All right, something like that. Go ahead and break it loose. Take it out by hand, set it aside. It's your dipstick right here. Alright guys, next I'm going to go ahead and get this pan off of here. So I'm going to work from the back forwards, and once you get to about these bolts right here on each side that are left in, it'll start draining out and you'll be able to control the drain. And for these back bolts, this is going to come in handy. 6-inch extension and a wobble 8 millimeter. That way you can get up in here and get these back bolts out. Got the ones in the back taken out here, as you can see. Now I'm going to just switch to a regular deep socket here. Work my way forward. And alright, I've gotten back to about right here on both sides. See? And that's causing it to start draining. So at this point you can loosen these bolts right here. The 2 bolts on either side that are the only ones left that aren't in the forward row here, and that will increase the amount draining out. Have a draining apparatus ready to go here. Might as well just show you right now. See how it increased the leaking? Once you get to the other side and take that last bolt loose, it's going to increase the leaking some more. Okay, just let it drain. Alright, I am down to the last bolt, so with your right hand, take your impact driver, loosen that as you support the back of the pan with your left hand. Once it's all the way out, slowly let go with the back, let any remaining fluid come out, and with your right hand, go ahead and support the front of the pan and pull it on out of there. Keep in mind the filter is just held in with a grommet and it may want to come out on you. Got the pan off of there, came off with the gasket, the filter's still up in there. Take the pan, just go ahead and set it upside down, let it drain somewhere. Here's your filter. This is where it goes. It goes up in that hole. Make sure you, just a second, I'll show you. Alright, certain year model vehicles will have an orange grommet instead of the seal right here. So if you have an orange grommet instead of the seal, make sure that you pop the grommet out of here. Otherwise you'll have 2 grommets and it's not going to keep the filter in there. Alright guys, since we are pulling the valve body out for this lead frame replacement, go ahead and pull this lever down. That is the retainer for the bulkhead sleeve. Coming on the back of the transmission here, if you look up in there, there's your bulkhead connector. Go ahead and loosen it counterclockwise, about 30 degrees. Once you've got it about that loose, you'll be able to pull. Once you pull on it firmly enough, the connector will come out with the bulkhead sleeve right here. So with your right hand, grab onto the bulkhead sleeve, hold it firmly, and then loosen the connector counterclockwise the rest of the way. It'll pop right out. Something like that. If you have orange seals on here, on the older year model Expeditions and F150s, replace the orange seals with the updated design black seals. Here's the part number for the black seal kit right here. Okay. While we're in here, there is a rectangular seal that is located on top of the valve body underneath the pump. You need to replace that too. There's the part number for that. Alright guys, so next you can go ahead and work on pulling the valve body out. When you go back in, make sure that your manual valve is lined up with the manual lever right here. There's going to be a little knob on this lever. Make sure it's lined up. And also on the range sensor right here, there's also a little knob that you need to line up. See those 2 knobs? Anyway, Proceeding on, there are 11 Torx 30 screws that you need to take off to take the valve body out. I know what you're thinking. These all look like Torx 30s, but believe me, they're not. There's 11 Torx 30s, and then the rest of them are Torx 27s. Here's a good example of how to differentiate between the two. This is a Torx 30, and this is a Torx 27 right to the left to it. See how there's a size difference there. The Torx 30 is always going to be the fatter of the two, and also it's going to be the only one a Torx 30 socket fits on. So on the back here by the solenoids, here's 3 of the Torx 30s. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and take those out now. All right, those are out now. I will proceed with removal of the remaining Torx 30 screws. Here's one right here. All right, careful, don't let it get out of hand here and lose it. Like that. All right, that one's aside. Here's another one here. I'm going to take my time here and show you every one on camera. Okay, that one's out. So that is 6 total out now. Here's another big one right here. Okay. Here's 4 more up front here, you see? Right there. All right, so go ahead and work on the outside first and leave this one in last because it's in the center of the valve body. That'll help hold the valve body in a little better. All right. Okay, so now we have one left, and I'm going to just nudge that one loose. Okay. So 2018 year model F150s and Expeditions are an oddball. They have a 12th bolt. I just removed that one right there. So just so you're aware. And also there's a difference. There's a grommet right here, a second grommet holding the filter on, which aren't like that on older models, 2011 through 2017 or so. So with that one bolt left in there and loosened, I'm going to let this drain for about 15 minutes until it comes to a drip. When you are satisfied with how much fluid is drained out and you're ready to pull the valve body out, just like you did with the pan, support the back of the valve body with your left hand, and with your right hand use your impact driver to take this last screw all the way out, and then put your impact driver down and with both hands drop the valve body straight down. You will likely notice that the thermal bypass valve will fall out. I'll show you that in a moment and explain where it goes. Okay, the valve body came straight down. I moved it on the table and set it up on its side to drain. This is the bypass valve I was talking about. This is actually not a bypass valve, it's a blink plug. See, I have the one on the right here. This one goes straight up like this into the transmission case. I will show you. If you have a bypass valve, the one on the left, put the spring side up. This is the hole where it goes. You'll likely need a second set of hands to put the valve body in and hold that up at the same time. Here's that one rectangular seal I was talking about replacing. That's how you pull it out. And these are the rear feed tube seals. They may have gotten stuck to your valve body. If the feed tube seals are stuck onto your valve body, you can use a sticker scraper with a razor blade. Just kind of work them off like that and put them back into the transmission case. The valve body, or excuse me, the lead frame is fastened onto the valve body with 6 Torx 27 screws. If you're not sure which ones they are, flip it on this side. And as you can see, there's 2 right here holding the lead frame on to the valve body. See the bolts coming through? There's 2 right here, and there's 2 in the middle right here. One there, and actually one in the middle there. Your valve body is probably going to look a little bit different. Like I said, it appears that the 2018 is kind of a oddball, different designs, but it's the same steps here. And actually the screws mounting the lead frame to the valve body are in the same locations as every other year model. Anyway, without further ado, Torx 27. Get them all loose, the ones that I showed you. When you go back together with it, the torque I believe is 62 inch-pounds if you want to be precise with it. Get all these out of here. Set them aside. Alright. Go ahead and flip the valve body over. Sorry for the messy table. Alright, so with both hands, you're going to just pull up on the lead frame little by little on each side. See how it's working up there? You're still sort of pulling these position pins here out of these holes. There's 2 of them. And there goes the lead frame. Your new lead frame will come with a foam sleeve that goes over the connectors for the solenoids there. Make sure you put that on. You do not have to program anything for a lead frame. I'm actually replacing the whole valve body in this, but I wanted to show you how to do the lead frame since it's a very common fault. Once again, make sure that foam seal for the connectors didn't fall off. Position the guide pins right there. And right there. Straight down. Straight down. Push up the rest of the way. Double check that. Okay. So I'm going to have to come back up a little bit and get this locator inside the manual valve. See? That little knob right there that my finger's on? There we go. Push back down again. See how it's in there? Oops. That was the sound of it just popping out of the other side. Like I said, even little by little, each side. Alright, and that is lined up in there. When you go back into the vehicle with it, you just want to get the manual valve knob lined up on the other end of that rod right there. Right there. That knob on the end of this lever. Flip it back over once it's fully seated. Double check that it's still seated. Okay. Get all your Torx 27s popped back into place. Like I said, I believe it's 60 inch-pounds, 62. Alright. Just showing you where they're going here. Right there. Right there. And right here. Alright, I'm going to use my impact driver to run them down. You're more than welcome to do that as well. I'm going probably above the torque spec a little bit. This is a core, so if you want to do this with your impact driver here, just run it down slowly like that and then torque it. Okay. Your lead frame is installed now. Go back over here, make sure nothing's bound up right here. All good to go. Okay, make sure you can operate your lock here for the bulkhead guide sleeve. Mine is stuck on the ends of these rods here for the lock. There are these little detents on it, little plastic things that come up right against the tangs right here. What I've done before when these are stuck like this is just get that sticker scraper I showed you a little while ago with the blade and just kind of rub off on those little detents there. There's one here and one on the opposite side where the tangs stop, and that'll make this pop up smoothly, and it'll still lock in position right here and it won't hurt anything. And that way you can push up on this without it getting stuck, because if you push up too hard with it getting stuck on those little tangs on there, then you can bend these little rods here, these little slides. You will likely need a second set of hands when you put this back up in there. While you're putting it up in there, make sure your thermal bypass valve or blank plug is in there and not falling out. You might need to get somebody to hold that in. And you may also need to get somebody to hold this manual valve here to line up on the little nub on the lever up there in the transmission that I showed you. Make sure it slides into there. Make sure it's not bound up. Make sure it moves like that before you bolt the valve body down. While positioning the valve body in the truck, do not force anything. Do not jam bolts up in there and try to tighten them up to get it flush. What you're trying to do here is just lightly push it up in there. And this dowel right here, and this dowel right here will fall into place into holes in the transmission case. You'll feel it. It'll kind of clunk and go straight up, and it'll feel flush with the case with no pressure, no harshness. It'll just fall right into place. And at that point, continue holding the valve body while you get one bolt started over here and one over here, and just evenly kind of hold it up there. And then torque the valve body bolts. 71 inch-pounds. There's the torque sequence. 1, 2, 3. See how it just kind of has you go zigzagging around to evenly seat the valve body. So just go ahead and pause it right there if you want to look at this and study it. Once you are down to where it's not pouring fluid out anymore and it's just an occasional drip, once the valve body's in, I do notice that normally it takes about 9 quarts of Mercon ULV to get it right in the right range there. But you'll want to drive it afterwards and get it up to operating temperature. With the engine running in park, should be at the top of the A range, the lower hatch area. Clear your codes out, and that will complete your repair. I sure do hope this helps you out. Have a great day. Please consider subscribing and liking. Good luck to you on your repair, and thanks again for watching.